welcome back to Night of the Batman. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Alex. That's the first time you've actually done that. That was kind of weird. But I'm so used to introing these. Anyway, we are finally back. I know I said that in the description of the last one, but this one we're actually back. We're recording this one recently. There wasn't a new episode this week, so we reviewed episode 8. We had to rewatch it a little bit. It's been a minute. Anyway, you guys don't want to hear about that. We'll just get into the episode. So, you want to start your whole recap thing?
So wait, spoiler-free review first. Good episode, solid episode.
Really good.
I was super excited. I squealed like a little girl. Yeah.
You're getting his... we'll wait.
Well, all I said was I squealed like a little girl.
Okay, I thought you were going to get more into it. I was like... Okay, spoilers now. Anyway, go ahead. We're really excited, guys.
Okay. Basically, you start up and you see these, like, criminals doing criminal things. Mm-hmm. And then it fast forwards a little bit, and the Gotham Knights have got them all tied up. They wrote little messages on their forehead, like, guns in the trunk, careful, this one bites. Funny things like that for the police, so the police knew that they, like, saved them. You also see Lincoln March is, recovering a little bit, and he's walking with his wife, and then he finds Harvey's ring.
Harvey's getting sloppy, man.
For real, though.
Yeah, come on, man.
Then you go back to the lair, the kid's little lair. Should I call it a lair, or should I call it, like...
The clock tower.
The clock tower.
Like in Birds of Prey.
You go back to the Bat Cave. It's not the actual Bat Cave. I don't know what to call it.
The Bat Attic?
The
Clock Tower works. We're just gonna call it Clock Tower.
It's like a library. I don't know. You go back to the Clock Tower.
The Bat Tower.
And they're like talking, and Duella's like poking fun at the people playing heroes. And while they were, getting the bad guys earlier, Cullen had been wearing a Court of Owls watch, and he realizes that it stopped keeping time. He goes back, and all 4 of the Court of Owl watches they had aren't keeping time. And then they just go to, like, 3 random times, and it, like, repeats.
Yeah, they start spinning, like, really fast, and then they land on, Yeah,
and they land on 3 random times, and it just, like, repeats for a little bit. Yeah. So they write it down. And they're trying to figure out what it is, what it could possibly mean. And while they're doing that, Stephanie gets a phone call, and the doctor, it's from the pharmacy. They're like, yo, your prescription's ready. And she's like, go up prescription. They're like, oh, well, it's this name. And Stephanie's face is just, like, horrified. Apparently, her mom's getting medicine filled in her name. Mm-hmm. And then you go to Harvey with Cressida in like, a quote-unquote safe room. Mm-hmm. It just looks like a...
rundown hotel?
A very rundown little, like, studio apartment, basically. Like, it's sad looking.
It's off the grid.
Yeah. And, because Cressida's going to tell them about the Court of Owls. So, they discover that the clock, or the watches are, because Turner is repeating the thing that Joe Chill told him. Like,
always watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he realizes that the watches are, they realize that it is, longitude and latitude.
Coordinates.
Yes. And, like, a time and a date. So one's a date, one's like the date and time, and then it's like longitude and latitude. Mm-hmm. And so they figure out where the next Court of Owls are meeting. And it's like a big deal. So Turner's like, we gotta go. And the siblings are like, I don't know about this, bro. And Duella's like, volunteers to go with Turner, because only 2 of them can go. They, Cullen's like, I can 3D print the masks. Like, they'll be perfect.
That was really cool.
Yeah, Cullen's my favorite. Hands down.
He's the most likable. I do like Duella a lot, though.
Yeah. There's some really good, Turner-Duella chemistry moments where she comes down, she's all prettied up, and he's just like, oh, she's hot.
He's kind of speechless, yeah.
Oh, She's like, I'll accept speechless.
Where he's like, you look nice.
Different.
Or different, yeah.
And she's like, oh, you know how to make a girl feel good about herself. Anyway, obviously, like, he's into her, and it's so cute, and she's into him. And I ship it so hard.
She had that black wig on that looked really good on her, too.
So then you go to Stephanie. She's visiting her dad. Apparently her dad knows that her mom is filling prescriptions in their names, and he's okay with it. And it's like an actual issue, and he's just like, it's fine.
He doesn't want to...
helping your mother. He doesn't want to address the fact that her mother has a drug problem.
He's worried about the blowback and the scandal since he is in the public eye.
Yeah. So Stephanie's like not with the gang during the mission because she's trying to deal with her own family stuff, which is fair.
Yeah.
So you go and they go to the Court of Owl meeting place. Takes them a couple of minutes to figure out how to get in. They use the watch. They get in, and they realize they're going to learn some stuff about the Court of Owls. So they go. They realize it had the map. And they want to steal the map. Duella...
on the painting. Just to, it's been an episode, so maybe people forgot.
So Duella helps Turner fake sick by punching him in the gut.
That's really funny.
And they go out, and then they go to where the map is. They incapacitate 2 of the guards. Duella cuts and hides the map, and they're about to make their grand exit when all of a sudden the leader of the Court of Owls is like, there's a traitor in our midst, and they pull Cressida forward. So they've got Cressida. And so they're going to execute her, and then Turner goes, beheads the Talon, saves Cressida.
That was crazy.
Yeah, they all run out. Like, the court is freaking out because they're not used to people trying to take them down and hunting them and succeeding. So they're all running. Duella gets back to the van. She's good. Turner's helping Cressida escape. And they're trying to get him to go back to the van. And Duella's freaking out because Turner's not back when she gets there, and he should be back. He should be back already.
Did we talk about the Harvey part with the music yet? Or
oh, no, I completely missed that. I'm sorry. Yeah, so before the event of the Court of Owls event, Harvey realized Cressida was gone, and there was a music box or something that said, it was a tape recorder that said "Play Me," and he pressed it, and it was the music that we've seen him get phone calls and stuff, and it's played before, and he just kind of
it's like a trigger, hypnotic trigger, yeah.
Yep. And so, anyway, the owls eventually find Turner and Cressida. They kill Cressida.
I didn't feel a thing when that happened, by the way. I don't like Cressida.
I did not care. They kidnapped Turner. He had a camera, and he also had his little earpiece, and they could hear on the earpiece them say that, not to kill him. They have plans for him. I have predictions of what it's going to be, but, I don't know for sure.
Do you think they're going to turn him, maybe? They're going to turn Turner?
I feel like they would, I feel like they could use him as a Talon. And that's my thought.
And pit the knights against him. Maybe they don't know at first kind of thing?
I don't know.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think their plans are to turn him into a Talon. Also, it's revealed that Lincoln March is leader of the Talon, or of the Owls.
Surprising
Big
no one.
Surprise. So, the person who's really, gunning for, we need to go save Turner right now, we need to get him right now, is Duella. And I think that that's gorgeous.
That was great. But I was going to say, really quick, that, earlier Lincoln March was, naming Turner as, basically putting a giant target on his back on the news.
Oh, yeah, Gotham's #1 enemy.
Yeah.
Which I think is so stupid.
It's a child.
Yup.
A child. No, sorry. Anyway, I'm all over the place today, guys. Sorry.
But yeah. And then, Harvey, later near the end, Harvey wakes up in the Court of Owls meeting place with blood all over his hands and a owl mask on his face.
Yep. Who? There's no, yeah. There's in comic pop, one of the things I like, they covered the Court of Owls, and that was one of the jokes they always made with the Court of Owls. Like, they would come up and like start poking each other, whoo, like that, like poking each other's chests and stuff. But yeah, like, who do we think that is? Like, it's no one that we know, because so far there would be like no suspects or anything. Less like my theory is that either he's being framed or something else, or I don't know. Like that just seemed like he was just in the middle of nowhere. Like maybe they used him.
He was at the meeting place. That was the warehouse they'd used.
Oh, it was just upstairs or something.
No, that was like where they had met. They just cleared the stuff out.
That's right. Okay. But yeah, sorry, it looked different. It was like for 2 seconds I saw the scene, but yeah, like Lincoln March is definitely different than he is in the comic. I'm actually really excited during the break, whenever that happens, to cover that, because it'd be interesting to hear your takes on this after seeing certain versions of it.
Yep. So what are some of your predictions? I personally think that...
You just asked me my predictions.
Yeah, I was going to tell you mine first.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, I personally think that they're going to, that they have been using Harvey as like a Talon, and like that's the why the music like triggers him like that. I think that would make sense for like when the Talon seems to be in like multiple places.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's interesting. But he had the white mask on.
Well, yeah, but like so did the original Talon. Whenever he would go to parties with his daughter.
Huh. That's a good point.
Yeah, and I think that like that's how Harvey's gonna become Two-Face. Is he's gonna have to like try to like reconcile with what he's done when he's been under hypnosis, and like that other side of him, and he's not gonna be able to. I think that they have Turner slated to turn him into a Talon, which would make sense with how they like try to turn Dick Grayson in the comics, and like with Turner being Bruce's son, with the whole they like to hunt Waynes, it would just make so much sense. And the fact that Thomas Wayne, was it Thomas, or no, that's his dad. Who was the grandpa? The great grandpa?
Oh, I think it's Alan Wayne, maybe?
The fact that Alan Wayne originally was a member of the Court of Owls, like that's mentioned when they're like, that traitor Alan Wayne stole from us.
It's interesting because in the comics it's different. He was the Talon was just like, and the Court of Owls were just hunting him, and people thought he was crazy because he escaped for a second and disappeared near like a sewer grate back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that considered, I think they would look at it as like revenge to have Turner beat Talon.
Like the bloodline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are just my like predictions, you know. I think that Duella and Turner are in game.
He does like flirt with some of the other. I know they had that weird episode where he was. Yeah, and like kind of him and Carrie a little bit too.
I think Stephanie is. I don't think that the March kid knows that his what his dad does. I don't think he's aware of the Court of Owls. So I think that he is actually going to be like on Turner and Stephanie's side when stuff comes out. I could see him very much betraying his father, because he doesn't seem like a bad guy, and he has a lot of respect for Carrie. He has like, he obviously cares a lot about Stephanie, and so I see him betraying his father and like helping the Knights, especially when you consider the fact that he lied to cover up for Stephanie Brown.
Yeah. To
the cops. So that's my opinion. I also think that, I could see Stephanie, if she doesn't end up with Lincoln's son, her and Cullen have an interesting relationship. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Brody seems like a really good guy, so it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit whenever she almost kissed like Turner. I'm like, Brody's been nothing but loyal to you and has helped you out a lot, and seems like an all around just really good guy. Like I felt bad for like that. I'm glad they didn't go through with it because I'm like also like even though he does have chemistry with people, I'm like I just don't see it. They seem more like close friends than anything else. Like that
Yeah.
seemed kind of forced to
They're
me.
like
I don't know.
siblings.
Like that whole thing, I'm like, guys, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
But like the sexual tension is much more with like Turner and Duella, which I never thought I'd actually care about Duella because she's just such an obscure comic book character. But that shows like if you write a character well and also like have an actress who can really nail that performance, then like you can turn even the most obscure characters into like just look at Peacemaker the show, like that show, like before that, and nobody fucking knew who Peacemaker was. But also on character, I like how in this, and I noticed this recently. Usually with Harvey Dent's stories, like he doesn't become jaded until after he has moments where he like splits, but he's usually like very optimistic. And with this one, you can still tell that he's like a good guy, but like Gotham has kind of like made him jaded a little bit, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with the Cressida stuff, like there was a moment where he's talking to her, and
Ow.
are you okay?
Oh, no, my watch is stuck in my hair. Ow! Ow!
Am I gonna have to? Okay.
Ow! No! Ow! Ow! Ow!
Sorry, guys, we're having a crisis.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
All right, are you okay?
The cover is still stuck.
I'm gonna have to cut this whole thing out, but
No, they need to know.
it's ridiculous. Anyway, lost my train of thought, but yeah, that was good.
The moment with Cressida?
Yeah, where he was talking to Cressida. Are you good? Are you gonna get your
I got it fixed.
Goodness, but the moment with like Cressida was interesting because she's like, help me or something. And he's like, I will, but like, didn't he say you gotta help yourself or something like
I
that?
think he was like, why should I?
Yeah, like he was just like, I'll do my best, like kind of, which is fair. Like I feel like with this Harvey, like he very much wants to help people, but he's also like realistic about it.
He's Castiel coded.
I don't really know enough about that character. I think I stopped watching Supernatural around that time.
I literally stopped watching whenever they added Castiel because I hated the dynamic shift. I was just making a joke because it's Misha Collins.
I know. But anyway, it's a little bit of a short episode, but this one was...
we're done?
Yeah, that was it.
Wait, you don't want to talk more about, how pretty the dresses were? You don't want to talk about...
This isn't a fashion show?
Yeah, but that's important.
Okay, you can discuss it.
You don't want to talk about the...
well, just go ahead. Like, whatever
the little girl that you were so excited was.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about her. There was a little girl in the Court of Owls, and in the comic... there's kind of like a gag where Batman is like fighting one of the Talons and basically like gets his ass handed to him. It's about to be like executed basically, but it's up to the little girl like, oh yeah, let the little girl decide, let her decide. And you think like obviously because it's like a trope, like she's gonna show like mercy maybe 'cause she's a little girl. And she's like, hurt him hard, or something like that. And I appreciated that they brought that character in. She didn't really do much. I think she maybe said one or two little nasty...
She said kill her. That's what she did with Cressida.
Yeah, and that was cool. Like, I like how this series does take aspects of, like, one of the best Batman stories, The Court of Owls, and kind of does its own little twist on it without, like, sacrificing what made that original thing cool. Like, it's obviously on a budget, so, like, you don't have, like, all the talents, like, in the book, but it's fine. Like, it's cool to have, like, it's kind of like a slasher villain, where it's, like, it would be too much for, like, this scale for this TV show to have, like, multiple ones. It's kind of cooler that's just one of them. Or, like, you theorize, like, probably two. I think it would be cool in the next episode if they think they killed the talent and then another one shows up. They're like, there are two of them? Like, that would be... I almost predict that that's going to be in the next one.
I don't know. I think, do you think all of the Gotham Knights are going to survive?
I would assume so. I don't know if this is a one-season show, though. I keep hearing that it's going to be canceled after this, but who knows? Like, stuff like that's always in flux. I hope not. Like, if they have a good story to tell for season 2, then fine. But if it wraps up with, like, no cliffhangers or anything in this one, I'm cool with that, too. Just as long as it's, like, a narratively satisfying story.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character?
Probably Duella. I really appreciate, Carrie Kelly though, because she is like kind of like the moral person in the group. They all are, but like she's much more like hard line, like to an extent, like you know the one that's like the superhero, I guess, of the group.
How did you appreciate Duella revealing who her mother was?
Who was her mother again? Oh yeah, yeah. Jane Doe, who like doesn't have an identity, basically. Like it's like Clayface, except like more realistic, where like she would take off her face and put on like other faces, like where she didn't have a face underneath, like it was just like muscle tissue. But yeah, like that was kind of cool. Where like didn't she say like she didn't really know who she was after a while or something like that? Yeah, I like that kind of thing with like shapeshifter characters where they lose themselves. Like as someone with ADD, you kind of take on personality traits whether you want to or not. Where sometimes I'm just like, how much of me is me and not just collections of people that I meet along the way or stuff I listen to. So I have to always be careful about that. But I relate to shapeshifters in that way, I guess. But yeah, that's a little interesting like therapy thing with Alex. But yeah, anyway, unless you had anything else, I was gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
No, it's good. All right. I'm Amanda.
I'm Alex, and this has been Night of the Batman. I gotta go to bed, guys. Good night. What?
We didn't shout out Ben.
Oh yeah, Ben, watch the show. All right, bye.